That's gonna be a rewarding one to fix too. We're just quickly doing some repairs on the lay flat blue hose. We have a lot to do because we've been using the same stuff for years. And Cal's got a cool system that she's using to show us what's reusable on these long stretches, because there's a lot of short stretches. So if we're gonna replace a big chunk, she's got a little system to mark out after we cut it what we can cut again to repurpose. So let's see what she's talking about.
Yeah, so any of these stretches that have some sprays, you can even see that it's wet here on the hay.
Yeah.
But facing in on each side directs towards the area that we need to chop out. So it means that everything on each side of these are salvageable chunks of blue hose. So if we just need to do small sectional repairs, then we can use these.
That's so smart. So now, yeah, instead of throwing like a whole 30-foot piece in the garbage, now we're just gonna have little pieces for future repairs. Love it. Good job, Cal.
Thanks.
There's a lot of repairs to do, so it's just going through. She's doing her taping system, and then we're just even marking out like where we can repurpose a nice chunk for another. It may seem like excessive, but we're limited in parts. We only have 2 couplers. Like, we're trying to do this as efficiently as possible so that we aren't using couplers anywhere we don't need to, and we just by pre-doing it have figured out we'll be able to lock it down. When we're hoeing, just remember to walk as you go, just like raking. So like straight back, core engaged, this one up, this one down. So you're using leverage and you're hoeing while you walk. And that's the way that you can like do it fast paced, but sustainably, like for a long time, where you're not killing your body and you can really just kind of, you're just sliding it. You know what I mean? And this is the perfect time to hoe. You see the thread weeds in here, so we're getting them before they like are big enough to be hard to get out of the ground. So you want them when you can almost barely see them, and so we can barely see them. It's a nice sunny day, so we're just getting to just slide our hoe along, and then we'll be done nice and quick. But we don't want to miss anything either, because then we have to come back through, and then when the ones we miss do become like this, and then we have to hand weed, etc. So the better job we do now, the more time we save in the future. So the goal is to have no weeds when we're doing this. Collinear hoe. This is great for getting underneath stuff, okay? So, but I actually prefer, if I can get this out of here, these need some oil. There we go. I prefer the wire weeder for like in-row weeding, because it's going to be a little less resistance, but still do the same job, right? For these little thread, we're going to call them thread weeds. So thread stage weeds. So when we're in the row, we're just going to turn it on a bit of a 45, and that's how you adjust your size. Because if you're a little, it's better to be a bit too big for the space than too small, because too small, you're going to have to do 2 passes, but too big, you can wiggle it to a 45, and you can kind of get into a groove where you're adjusting it as you go, so, and kind of weaving back and forth. Killing the odd one is inevitable. Like, I don't want to say, but try, if you're killing a lot of them, change something. You know what I mean? But you also don't want to go super slow out of like fear that you're going to get one and realize that you could have been going way faster. Do you know what I mean? That balance. Don't operate in fear. Alright, we just got this back together. Another part of the fixing the irrigation today. So this had snapped and I got the replacement parts sent, but when I initially got it, it was all glued together. This one was not, so it's my first time like really doing like plumber's glue and stuff. I think it's pretty straightforward, but I hope to heck that it holds. So we'll see when it gets under pressure. Yeah, so we're about to reattach this. The filter is obviously a key part when you're irrigating from a pond. We've been taking the liberty to go without it for the beginning of the season. I don't think it's that dramatic that we did that. It could maybe block up some drip emitters, but not really likely when the pond's so full anyways. So there we go. Filter's gonna be back on and fingers crossed it works. Kyle's about to flick the pump on, so she's actually just finally checking all of her work, and it corresponds well with me getting the pump put back together, or the filter I mean put back together. So now, the moment of truth, she's gonna flick it on, check the filter that it's all holding and working well, and then she'll run out to the field and check all her stuff to make sure all those things that needed repairing are repaired. Quick little adjustment, I forgot when I was troubleshooting this that this little guy had loosened off. So the other benefit of having the filter on, well, I mean, the other feature, it's not really a benefit because it creates the problem because it is a filter, but you read the input, you want the PSI up around 40, and then the output around 30. And then if there's something off by that, then you've got problems. Looks like the pressure's really high on the output, so that could be just that we don't have anything open out in the field. So I'm just gonna radio Cal and see if there's anything open. It's going down now, so she may have opened something up. But if it's 0 over here, that means the filter needs to be cleaned, and if it's 0 over here, that means something's clogged in there. So right now I'm just in the cold room mixing Salanova seed. I don't know why I chose to do it here, but I am. And we mix about 50% green, what do we do? Green Sweet Crisp, about 50%, and then we make the other 50% up of like whatever else. So red butter, green butter, the red Batavian, green Batavian, and there's a red Sweet Crisp as well. So those make up 50%, and then Green Sweet Crisp is the other 50%. It's just a nice way to do it. So I mix it all up. And then pour it in here. And then that's just pre-mixed and nice. And then Dana redid all of our seeds this year, like they're all in standard sized containers and they all stack nice and it's really great. Bumblebees arrived today from Coppert. They're a great company for beneficial insects, so we use them for all kinds of stuff. Predatory insects for things like aphids and stuff like that. But for the bumblebees, this is a bumblebee hive. It's for our greenhouse. Because we have a closed, like a sealed greenhouse, we don't really get pollinators in here. So this does all of our pollination in our 120 by 30 greenhouse for all of our tomatoes and cucumbers. And you can sort of, people do it manually by like shaking them or toothbrushes or something like this. But on this scale, we need something like this to have consistent, good pollination. And they actually do a better job than the manual stuff because it's what they do. So, bumblebees from Coppert. Super excited that they arrived today. And we're putting these into both greenhouses. So it's Saturday morning, it's the weekend of Mother's Day, and this is our plant sale at the farm. Louise has taken the white van and met Abby there, and they're doing the car farmers market. So this is a big deal. It was a lot, it took us the full day to reorganize yesterday. I'll take you right through the nursery to show you. All of our typical plants are, like that would be in here, are way back there. I don't really know how we fit everything before. I know we had some stuff outside that ended up having to come in. A lot of that next week we'll be able to harden off. It's gonna be a pain in the butt to water over the weekend, but that's it. That's great. And now it's all done and beautiful in here for people to come walk through the nursery and purchase things. And back when I wanted to plan our first plant sale last year, I noticed that there are very few videos on it. So I'm gonna do my best to do a really quick condensed Cole's notes on how to plan a plant sale in about 5 minutes here. So what we're gonna cover is which things to plant individually, which things to plant into 4-packs, pricing, planning, and yeah, literally it's about to happen in half an hour. So I'm just gonna hammer this out in 5 minutes as quick as possible for anyone that's wondering how to plan a plant sale. So I really believe that anyone that's growing cut flowers or vegetables and has a fairly decent nursery should be having any form of plant sale. You might as well grow a few plants to sell, and you could have it be any size, like small. It's a real niche. Everyone wants seedlings in the spring, and people want to support small businesses, and they want to get them from people that have grown them. There's a real gap in the market for that product, because yes, there's tons of seedlings all over the place, but they're at grocery stores and we don't know where they've come from. And this is wonderful. Like even me as a consumer, if I could go in to this place, look how beautiful it is, and we grew them for these customers, they're going to love that. So you can do this on your farm. You can just set it up outside. I've seen people leave plants on the ground. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. We've got these labels done at the printers. They're on the seedlings. It wasn't expensive. We have our regular nursery tables. Let's get into how you do the 4 seedling trays versus the individual 2.5-inch pots. Anything that's a flower, an herb, an onion, basically anything that isn't going to produce more than its value. So what I'm saying there is, I do not want to charge someone $5 for a broccoli plant, because it's going to create $4 worth of broccoli for a $5 plant. So the things that I want to put in individual pots produce more value. So we're looking at things like tomato plants, tomatoes, zucchinis, cucumbers. I don't need to go through the full list, but eggplants, peppers, things that produce more than that individual value per plant. If anything is of value of only its plant, for example, a head lettuce, like I say, herbs, that's the best way I can describe it without going through every single individual vegetable. And if you want to ask, I could even put up a list. If anyone's interested, I could put up a list, and that would be kind of a nice thing. We could put up a resource that we've done. So we also launched our online website. So what we did was take pre-orders online. We've set them all out here and done those in advance, so people will be coming to grab those. They're sectioned off. And then otherwise, everything's just in their individual sections. We're here to answer questions. And I have these info sheets for things that are more detailed, like peppers. And then I have one on our tomato varieties as well. So people can just grab those. We have tape and Sharpies out at the end of each sort of section, so that people can individually label their plants, because obviously as they pull them out of the tray, they're not going to remember when they get home what it was. So it's important you provide something like that. And yeah, we're getting ready to rock. It's Mother's Day, so we have the flowers getting set out, and then there's the cash register. I have the signage, and that's it. I'm doing a farm tour at 10:30, so a bunch of people will be coming hopefully for that. I'm really excited to show people around the farm, and I hope that it draws in some extra people. And we've been advertising online and in local Facebook groups, so we'll see. It's our 2nd annual one, and there's a ton of potential for revenue here. There are $6 each plant pack, and there's many plant packs in there, so we'll let you know whether it was good. And it's definitely worth your time for anyone to try. Not anyone, anyone with a good nursery that's already growing food and vegetables and flowers. Plant sales all wrapped up. It's a super long day, but it was an incredible day. Louise has come back from the market, dropped everything off, and you can see some of these trays are empty, but also still hardly a dent in it. So we have 4 more days of the plant sale, and 1 tomorrow for Mother's Day. I don't think it'll be super busy, but next weekend hopefully. And yeah, we're gonna keep advertising, keep telling people that it's happening, and couldn't be happier with the turnout today. I wish I filmed. We actually had it like full in here with a lineup down here. I missed it. I was just, well, I mean, it's good I missed it. I was in the moment helping customers, but I wish I had just thought to just pull this out quick. But maybe they wouldn't have liked it anyway if someone's waiting in line and I'm kind of going, woo! Anyway, you can tell I'm amped. What a great day. So, plant sale complete. And that's the end of the week, because tomorrow's Mother's Day. I'm taking the day off. The crew's going to take care of this for me, so thank you very much, Louise and Drew. Tomorrow you're taking over here, and I'm going to be out with Dana doing some stuff with the kids. That's a wrap for a short one this week.